Hey guys, welcome back to another voiceover. So this term I'm thinking of painting Uzaki from the, I guess, actually found this series out from the really ridiculous controversy revolving around this character Uzaki. So I took a look at the anime and it was really good. I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to draw her. So she is a very short college student. She's very well endowed with a boyish haircut, which I find very interesting because typically in anime, I don't think I've seen that many short female characters with hair like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting, and the really ridiculous controversy revolving around her is just uh, um, laughable pretty much. But yeah, it's an anime. People want to get mad at anime characters. It's just there's more pressing matters to worry about. But anyways, because of that, I got into the series, so that was a positive. Anyway, so I already have the sketch. Um, and as always, we're gonna have a character group and a background group. I'm gonna make one for their steps so I can do a bit of steps every now and then. But yeah, as you can see, this is what I have. Okay. So, as always, I will be starting off by just kind of outlining the silhouette of the character. So the pose I decide to go with is I feel like quite simple but effective. There's a thing on on Twitter mainly where people are redrawing her in more of like their take of more appropriate version of her, where they totally remove her chest and she actually looks underage. I mean, yeah, because if and it did not look good. People are so spiteful. It's just ridiculous. So I thought I'd do my own version of her, although I'm gonna try to stick pretty close to the anime version. Well, at least in terms of idea. So, and of course, probably a little more because she doesn't really have. Her legs aren't that thick, but I guess I'm drawing her with thicker legs. But I think we need a balance of a redraw out there. We gotta have like the super. I don't wanna offend people, but they're really trying hard to impose Western standards on anime characters. We gotta have a even amount of more sexy pinups to balance it out, if you will. So yeah, I'm gonna contribute to that. Okay, so I have the head on a separate layer, and as for the background, most likely I will just be looking up some background images from Adobe Stock. That's usually my go-to for background images. So I will be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I went on Adobe Stock and I grabbed a photo that I thought was kind of fitting of the series. But anyways, this is the photo I took for the background. And usually I start up with one photo and sometimes I end up changing it later, but usually I find it easier if I have a background to work with, because then I can kind of accommodate the shading to fit the background. Sometimes, not all the time, because in art, the lighting, I find I pretty much do what I want. Sometimes it doesn't make sense in real life, but it does look better that way, so I end up just doing just painting based on aesthetics and not physics or gravity, because you know. When it comes to art, we want to create something that cannot exist in real life. That's at least how I view it. So, anyways, let's get started. So, this anime, I find is quite good. Kind of feels a little bit like Love Hina, and I feel like that's one of the like fan service rom-com anime slice of life that I've watched in the past that gave me an impression. So yeah, Uzaki, what's the anime called? Uzaki Wants to Hang Out. It's pretty similar. I liked it, and it's pretty typical of the genre of comedy with a bit of fan service. And of course, the guy is always like trying to act like he's not interested in stuff, and the girl is overly pushy, but she's doing it unconsciously. I feel like it's her personality. But yeah, it's a good anime. You guys should definitely give it a watch. It's really it's like a casual anime. It's easy to digest and I guess consume. Sorry, wrong word. And I think everybody should take a look. Well, if you like anime, of course. I mean, comedy anime with a bit of fan service. But it's not even that extreme. It's just really funny. Anyways, as always, I'm just gonna start off with kind of isolating the different areas of the character, like just kind of establishing the base color. So she's got like a white shirt. I'm gonna go ahead and use a blue base to start off with. Going to airbrush, and I'm going to add a bit of yellow underneath, like that. And then I'm giving her undies. Comfortable undies. I know most of my underwear that I paint on characters like G-strings and stuff, so she's gonna get a pair of very comfy undies. Although I don't think it matters too much, and it's gonna be a blue pair to match her aesthetic, her character design. Now the reason I put her in underwear, because I really think having thick thighs will look good on Uzaki, so that's why she's in her underwear. And I was about to paint her, use a outdoor background, but then I thought maybe that would be a little maybe not fitting as well. So yeah, paint the skin first, and I'm starting off with a dark base and then gradually adding highlights. So you can, when you paint characters, some artists likes to start off with a lighter color and then add the shadow, and I did the reverse of that. But of course, it's whatever you feel more comfortable with. But yeah, I'm gonna give her some nice thick thighs. Okay. This is quite a simple pose, so it's not gonna take as long for me to get a base going. There we go. I actually really like her character design, cause she wears a pretty casual style shirt. Like, I'm not sure what the style is called. It's baseball, was it? Baseball style shirts with the two dark sleeves, which actually used to be one of my favorite style of shirts. Kind of want to get another shirt like this, but I haven't seen much of this style lately, but I really like it. Now for the face, so she's got grayish, silverish hair, and she has a boyish cut, which I find interesting because we don't see a lot of female characters, short female characters with this type of cut. I mean, you can see it sometimes like short hair, but this cut is a bit more boyish than the typical short hair for female characters in anime. But yeah. Okay, just adding some basic shadow. Invert color. Same here, so I start off with a fairly dark color. I'm going in with more lighter colors now. I'm still not sure if what style I want to go for, whether more anime or a bit more realistic, because I was thinking of giving her typical Japanese Japanese look. I was about to say schoolgirl, but then I was like, no, Uzaki is in college. But yeah. Just gonna shade the hair a bit. Make sure the line art is on multiply and lower it. So I'm just gonna lower it slowly. Copy paste for the next step. Okay, zoom in again. When it comes to faces, I definitely like to approach this where I start sketching out the outlines of the face on a separate layer with a dark color. Let's see, she's got big eyes, so I'm gonna go for a very doe-like Japanese look. And usually they have like their eyes go a little down. That's typically the look, what's considered innocent look in Japan. Anyways, it's pretty interesting how Japanese makeup trend is a little different from Western. Western tend to like to drag their eyeliner upwards, where Japan likes to emphasize a lower makeup. So now, since it's on a separate layer, I can edit this because yeah, it wasn't looking too great. And I can play around with it, maybe rotate it. She does have very cute eyes despite her boyish cut, so gotta make sure to emphasize that. She's got big eyes. So this is what we have. Hold on. Her eyebrows are arched. Just gonna sketch out the face a little. Then I have the nose. The nose I'm just gonna try to hide as much as possible. Let me see if I can pull it off. Usually when it comes to more of an anime style, I try to hide the nose in the shading and stuff. I'm going for the look where the lighting's coming from below look, so I'm gonna have a bit of shading there and underneath the eyes. I'm going in with the gray color for the whites of the eyes, and she's got kind of like a dark gray blue eyes, like that. And she's always pretty cheerful, so let's see if I can give her a cute expression. But then I would have to kind of move the eyes up a little. just end up sketching. Give her a bit of a rosier lip color. Alright, so for the eyes, I'm gonna edit this a bit more and make the eyes a little more curved, pretty much. Like that. First pass. And I'm gonna go with a bluish tone. Oh, hold on. Bluish tone with airbrush. Just gonna go ahead and kind of include that throughout and start blending stuff together. And for the mouth, let me see if I should include a little bit of teeth. Let me see, add a bit of shadow underneath. And going with more of a angled brow, going to a curved look. Just kind of taking some of the trends in Japan, makeup trends in Japan, and kind of applying it to her face. Okay, line the bottom waterline. And I would also kind of make the nose and mouth smaller for this type of style. More of a anime slash semi-realism style. I mean, technically the anatomy of this type of style doesn't really, it's not very realistic because the nose is way too small. But it is what it is, it's a style. Because I do see a lot of people kind of complaining about it, like it's not realistic. However, I'm not trying to paint realism. It's kind of give up explaining it to people that think everything needs to be realistic. And so if it's not realistic, then it's not correct. But anyways. Okay, so this is a base for her. Let me see if I can paint this a little, add a bit more shadow here. So this is the base. I think her face needs to be a bit longer. So what I did is kind of just merge the whole face down to the hair, and just going to make her face a little longer overall. And I'll also need to keep her hair a little shorter because her hair is very short. At first I thought she was a male character, but then I saw her chest. I was like, wow, okay, guess I was wrong. At first I didn't really get why people were complaining about her, because, you know, she is the typical, well, she has the characteristics of a typical anime character. The style is very anime, and I just thought it was really weird that people were complaining about how inappropriate she looked. I don't know. I guess those people don't understand anime style. Anyways, just kind of lining the hair and stuff and adding a shadow. But yeah, sorry if I if I sound kind of rude and stuff. I see a lot of this type of what's it called? People trying to police pretty much Japanese anime culture, and it's just getting ridiculous. I'm mainly coming from I don't know, mainly coming from I don't want to generalize, but English speaking countries. But yeah, you don't see Japan doing a lot of this. Anyways, so we got her hair. I think there's still quite a bit to work on, especially her face. But for now, let's do a bit more generalization on the other areas. So I'm going to go ahead and start by adding a little bit of highlight on top of her hair. I'm gonna add a bit of blue. Oh, maybe a little bit more towards that type of blue. A bit more blue on her hair. And then I'm gonna go with a more of a warmer tone. Put it underneath. And with a darker tone, just gonna paint her nose. Gonna use a bit of this color. I'm gonna add down top of the nose. Use a little bit of that warm color, put on her cheek. And I think her eyes, move this eye a bit over here. Just going to see, actually, maybe her eyes could be a bit smaller. For that for now. Going back to the clothing now. Gonna go ahead, add a bit of a warm tone here. Okay. Add a bit of a warm tone here and here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of blue on the side. This area, and then going in with a dark color. I'm gonna start by adding a bit of that clothing wrinkle. Just gonna have a little bit of it. And then, of course, oh wait, it's got a dark color, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that in. I'm gonna pop out the line art and kind of use it here to add some of that wrinkles for the clothing. So I'm pretty much gonna focus on the stress points of the shirt underneath her chest, and then draping a few folds down here. Yes, I'm going to make her shirt slightly smaller, as always, you know. Always gotta show more skin. That's how I paint my pinups. It's okay. Okay. I'm going to go in here with the lasso tool. There's a little bit of skin showing. Just gonna go ahead and put that. pick out the lines. And just gonna go ahead and start refining. I'm gonna use the lasso tool to help me, making sure that I don't paint outside the lines. Go here a little to add a bit of blue, this blue. Slowly blend it down, and I'm gonna include a bit of stretch marks for the t-shirt, and with the blue on top and with the yellow on the bottom. And maybe I'm gonna have, actually let's go ahead and unlock the layer so that I can fix the silhouette of it. I'm just gonna start by refining this area here. Lock that in. I'm going to use a bit of a very intense rose shade on the side here with white, and then blue on the opposite side to balance it out, and add a bit of highlight on the side here. Then align this. Okay. Then going back down here, I'm gonna select this color. Just gonna continue to add shadow. Bring the yellow highlight down. I'm pretty much gonna do the same sort of thing up here with the blue shadow on top, the yellowish tone highlight on the bottom, and we will be keeping that consistency for a bit. Gonna use a bit of that shadow, highlight the side here. I don't know why I did that. It doesn't really do much, out of force of habit, I guess. Just going to darken that side. Zoom in a bit. There we go. Add a bit of shadow, and then yellow highlight on the bottom. And then add the folds with the shadow on top, the highlight on the bottom. Gradually, we're going to blend this up here, yellow on the bottom, blue on top. And I take this color right here, and I'm just going to gradually blend that out. And I'm going to use the lasso tool and kind of select the chest a bit. Gonna do something like that. Just gonna try, and I'm going to be gradually blending this in, because right now there's a very distinct line. Gonna make sure that it's not super obvious. Just gonna gradually blend it. Add a bit more shadow on the bottom. There we go. Okay, so this is what we have. Now just gonna go on the undie select the outline for the underwear and probably select most of the silhouette actually. I'm gonna be darkening it and then having most of the highlight on the bottom, because that's kind of how the highlights has been going throughout this piece. Alright guys, let's continue. So I flipped the image. I worked on the face a little, although not too much. You can see there's not much progress there. But I did flip the image because I think that getting a fresh perspective of the piece would be helpful. So yes, here we have it. I'm gonna start off by lining the outer edge of the shirt. Maybe use a bit of this color. I just want to make sure that it stands out from the frame there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on with this. Okay. I'm kind of debating on how to shade over here. Use a little bit of this color. I'm going to gradually blend this in. I'm gonna select here real quick and make it dark, and then add the highlight at the corner. Just going to pretty much darken that side of the shirt as well, and then darken this side of the shirt too. Now for the underwear, so I'm gonna zoom out here, select the side. I'm going to paint her pelvic bone over here so it doesn't look super empty. And then reshape the underwear slightly, like that. And I'm going to also add a bit of a darker shadow. Actually, I'll just kind of darken this whole area in general. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of line this part shadow, make it a little darker. And then I'm gonna go ahead and use a grayish tone here. And extend that tone upwards. Gonna go ahead and select that area, and using a very dark color, just gonna add that shadow there and slowly blend it out. Select this color, bring it up, kind of just very softly blend this together with the shadow in the middle here. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna use a bit of this color on the side here. And then use a darker color, which will be used to line the clothing. Like that. Just going to darken, clean up the underwear line now. Just gonna add. There we go. And using this really dark shadow already there, line the crotch add a bit of blue tone, just a little bit. Go. Bring the highlights all the way there. And I'm just going to blend this together. Just going to blend this a bit more. I'm going to select this whole leg here so that I can make a proper clean cut shading here and blend that line into the leg. Now I'm not too sure if I want to keep this undie design. Maybe we can have like a little bit of lace detail. Although she is a tomboy, I'm not sure if this would fit her too well. Actually, maybe like a boxer underwear. What's it called? Female boxer. I mean, like the female version of guy boxer undies. With like a band, I think, usually. I've seen them at lingerie stores. I'm gonna try to see if I can give her that. So, I'm gonna give her a white band first. Maybe I can... I was thinking of maybe incorporating her t-shirt design to the undie, but maybe not. Actually, I could still do that later still. So we got a band. I think this style of undie will suit her. Although she is kind of seen the anime series wearing pretty average underwear, I think like a more boyish, or what's it called, boy boxer undie style for women would look good on her. Okay, now for the chest part, still quite a bit to work on. I'm gonna select underneath the sleeve. Gonna have a bit of shadow coming in. I mean highlight, the blue highlight, and then I'm going to contrast that with dark shadow. Just gonna go ahead and darken that and blend it together. I might have to actually reshade this part because it's looking a little lumpy. So what I'll do is use the airbrush. I'm just gonna make a nice, smooth look for the clothing, other than those areas with the folds. So we're gonna have smooth here, and I have the fold there, and then smooth here too. Using the lasso tool, I'm just gonna shade it quickly and make the areas that need to be smooth, while keeping the folds, the clothing folds where they are. Somewhat like that. Maybe I can add a bit of silhouetting for the sleeve here. Just kind of giving a bit more variant to the silhouette of the sleeve. Gotta edit it as well, don't want it to make it too unnatural. And then going in with that blue highlight. Oh, hold on. Yes, like that. Okay, now for the arm. use a little bit of that blue there. I'm gonna add it to the arm here. I'm gonna use the lasso tool. I'm going to multiply so I can add a bit of shadow from the clothing onto the arm here. For the elbow, I want to make it a little pinkier, and then clean up the shape of the elbow because it was looking a little too bumpy. And then select this whole part, copy, paste, Control C, Control V, darkness contrast, making it a little darker. Like that. And just kind of cleaning up now. Cleaning up the shirt. I'm gonna go ahead, add a bit of folding. What's it called? No, that's not. Bit of, yes, folds. And then also using the same shade of highlight underneath the shirt and always putting it underneath the shadow. And we're just gonna blend those together and keep adding those details. Lock down the layer, select the shoulder. I want to make it a little cleaner, and at the same time I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the sleeve as well. Gonna unlock the layer here, and I'm gonna take the opportunity to add a bit of silhouetting to the sleeve here. There we go. Just adding a little bit of that. And of course, now that I have the silhouette, I'm gonna go try to make sense of it by adding more wrinkling happening where those areas that I added where it bulges out. So just adding some of that. Okay. I'm still debating on whether if I keep this darker or brighter. I'm gonna go into the multiply and grazing the edge. Actually, maybe I should keep it darker. Okay, let me redo that. So, just going to kind of line the outer edge of the character silhouette with shadow, and if it doesn't end up working, we can always kind of go back and add highlight to the outer rim of the character. Okay. So this is a pretty general pass of the body. Now back to the face, that needs quite a bit of work. So I'm gonna start working on the face a bit more. Let's go ahead and maybe add a bit of blue or this color. Just adding a bit more dark color. Darkening the face so that I can layer on the highlight. So just adding a bit of pinkiness. Have the shadow underneath the nose. And for the hair, it's gonna be highlight on the bottom of the hair. gonna add a bit of blue on the bottom there. Actually, maybe not. We should add the blue on the top here. She does kind of have fangs. Her canine, sorry. Canine. That's also a attractive traits in women in Japan. If they have like little canines, that's, I think maybe that's where that design came from. Maybe because it's like a thing in Japan. And just going to kind of blend this together. Add a bit of that gray tone on top now. Kind of removing her nose. And a little tiny bit of nostril impression. Okay. Gonna add a bit of highlight underneath the eyes. Maybe I can go for more of like a Final Fantasy look style for her. Using a darker color, just gonna line her smile here. Zoom in. Oh. Actually, before I zoom in, let's kind of play around with the head a bit. Maybe play with the eyebrows. Make it a little straighter. Same for here, just warping the eyebrows to fit the look, and then bring the eyes over a bit. And for this eye, I'm going to resize it. Just going to kind of move it about. Hold on, let me just rotate this back. I might need to make her face a bit more realistic than this. So I'm gonna start revamping the eyes a bit. Just going to kind of remove the eyeliner as much as I can. Go ahead and give her a new set of eyeliner. Just lined it with the lasso tool, and then after the eyelids, just gonna align the pupils. Actually, you know what? I think I might need to add a bit more white of the eyes. this. Go, and then lower the nose and the mouth. Before, after. Before, after. So this is the after. Okay, now go ahead, maybe work on the hair a bit. Just going to extend her hair. Pretty much just a bit more refining on the hair. A lot more texturing going on. Switching between brushstroke detail and highlighting. But mostly at this stage where I already have a base for the hair, I'm just adding those small details. And just extending the front bangs down a bit more. Okay. Let's go ahead and use a bit of this color there. I'm just gonna highlight her nose with it, alongside the cheeks a bit, and highlight the other side too with cheeks, and for the eyes I'm still not sure which angle to go with. Here. And using a bit more of the blue inside the whites of the eyes, as well as a bit of the yellow too. I'm gonna select this color and use it for her eyelid shade there. And before, after, I can also kind of do a little in between of both versions, which sometimes, you know, it kind of adds a little extra more detail, little bit more detail to the piece if I combine both versions. Okay. Just going to kind of start editing the eyes a bit. Select the inner corner and add a bit of shadow. Same for this side. gonna take a bit of this highlight shade on the bottom. Just gonna highlight the nose and then around the cheek. Take the same highlight shade, gonna highlight the cheek there. And same for around the mouth there. Just going to kind of, okay, hold on. Let's add a bit of white there so we can have a nice, so that her eyes doesn't looks a little more even. And I'm just going to make the shape of the eyes here a little higher. Like that. Okay, now the hair part. I'm gonna start by adding in a bit more skin tone around the hair, and then after going over that with hair strands so that I can keep it nice and clean. Gonna select outer rim of this side of the cheek using the white color. Just going to line the outer rim, that side of the face. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and select the ears now. And just kind of paint it using the airbrush a shade of warm skin tone. Add a bit more yellow here. And darken that up. And go through the typical ear structure here. So we got one highlight like this curved all the way around like this, and then we have shadow here, and then another highlights like that. Well, at least that's how I paint ears. Other artists have their own ways of painting ears, but yeah, this is what I'm more comfortable with. Just going to extend the highlight and then add highlight on the very outer edge. I'm gonna go ahead and use a smaller brush. Gonna see if I can add more highlight. There we go, on the bottom area of the hair. See if I can kind of subtly, actually, so now the issue is the hair. I'm not really liking the hair as much. It definitely is a little bit out of my style. I don't normally paint super short haircuts on female characters. But yeah, so let's see what we can do about this. So I'm gonna merge it down. So this is before, after. I feel like there might be a few more things I could probably do to make her look a bit more. Like, okay, lowering the eyelid a bit. Actually, nah. Maybe if I angled her eyebrows a little like that. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this. Her eyes need a bit more curvature to them. Gonna see if I can add a bit of curve to them, so that should look like she's smiling a bit more. Just gonna have a bit of eyelashes. And gonna have some eyelashes on top too. Aim for smaller eyelashes on the top. Just gonna fill it. Refine the eye shape there. A little bit angled upwards. Have a little bit more eyelid, and then have the eyebrows angled up. Nah, actually, I'm just going to blur this a bit. Back to the outlines. Add a bit more eyelashes. Use the highlights. I'm just gonna line that. Okay. Now working on the hair. Okay. I'm gonna try to see how it would look if I kind of made the face a little smaller. Like that. And as for the hair, I'm just gonna keep going at it. So I'm gonna see how it will look. Oh, hold on. If we added a bit of highlight on the side of the hair and maybe over on this side too, the side of the silhouette. So I'm gonna Control Shift C, Control Shift V, contrast and lighten. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm getting Ray vibes from Evangelion from this hairstyle. Although Ray's hair is, I would say, a bit more feminine in terms of style. This kind of reminds me of Ray's hairstyle. Just a little. Because they're both short. But Ray's hair is slightly longer and has more curves, so it's more feminine. This hairstyle is a lot more masculine. So I'm gonna try to see if I can kind of add something to this to make it look a little bit more feminine. Let's get a bit of shadow going here. I'm just gonna softly add some highlights. Let's get a bit of smile going on. Let's get a bit of smile. A bit of highlight on that side. This definitely needs a bit more. What's it called? You just bring this up a bit more, and this side too. And then I'm going to take this color right here, bring it inside, underneath the upper lid there. Same with this side. I might need to flip this before I go any further. I'm going to select a bright color and line it very closely to this eyelid. Add some very intense shadow there. Actually, this part is annoying me. Let's add a bit more shadow like that. And add shadow like this here. Then I'm gonna add a bit of hairline, so it doesn't look like her ears too close to her face. Gonna go ahead, continue to bring the highlight all the way behind her ear there. And her eyes is kind of blue, so I'm gonna go ahead, select a bit of blue, put it on this side because the highlight's coming from here, so the eyes will receive more highlight on that side, this side. Then I'm gonna go with a very, very dark pupil and then line it. Just gonna select underneath the eyes, use airbrush, and I'm just going to airbrush underneath. There we go. Oh, hold on. Just gonna try to make it nice and subtle. Give her a bit more eyelashes. Bring her eyebrows a bit higher, maybe. Going to go ahead, select this color. give this side a bit more highlight. And the other side is gonna be a bit more in shadow. Now I'm going to use a little bit of brown color. Let's see if I can highlight with that color. So just selecting a portion of the eye. That's what I meant by that. Also, I'm gonna try a bit of blue as well. If you really want to be detailed, you can kind of add some little lines extending from the pupil. Done. And then on the side too, you can also do that. So there we go. This is the look before, after. It's definitely looking a little better. Before, after. Now I have to work on the rest of the hair. Okay. Gonna actually reduce, clean, sorry, not reduce, clean up the silhouette of the hair. Go ahead and add some baroque strands here and there. And let's see, I think I'm gonna make a hairline around here maybe. So that we can, I'm gonna try to see if I can start adding in some of those highlights on the hair. So I'm gonna go by sections. Add a bit of shadow here. Hold on. Use a dark color. Gonna add some sections real quick. Section it off here. Section it off here. Maybe a little, hold on, maybe a little like this. And then after I sectioned it off with a lasso and dark color, I will go back to blend stuff in. Just going to extend the highlight all the way throughout. Like that. There we go. I think it's looking a bit more hair-like. Before it wasn't looking too hair-like. Now it's looking a little bit more hair-like. Probably because of the texture here. It's very hair strand. Lots of hair strands. So after I do that, I'm gonna pretty much try to refine it a bit more because it is a little rough, although it's not too bad, but I'm gonna try to see if I can blend it in. So going back to the other part of the hair and pretty much doing the same thing, just adding those hair strand like brush strokes. But using dark color, I'm gonna go here and pretty much do the same-ish. I'm going to delete that side here. So this is what we have. Bring the hair down. Bring the highlight down. Now. think that that's definitely improvement. Bring that down. I'm going to go ahead and shade that. Now comes the fun part where I put, what's it called, the highlight. So see if I can pull this off here. So I'm selecting intense highlight. This is where most of the attention is gonna go. So I'm gonna go to brightness and contrast and put it up. Yeah, there we go. Yes, now everything looks a lot better. So if I zoom out, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. But of course we have to also refine. So the reason why I applied this as a filter is because I can go ahead and kind of edit the shape of the shadow. So I'm gonna add a bit more softness to these areas. Gonna add a little bit of wrinkling on the side there. And actually, I'm gonna add a bit of shadow on top here and on top of this as well. And maybe on this side too. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And also I can add a tiny bit of the highlight around the silhouette of the shirt here. Oh, hold on, that makes no sense. Let's remove that. Sometimes you just have to try to see if it looks good. I'm gonna include most of it on the shoulder. Like that. Let's bring this down a bit. And I'm gonna see if I can include a little bit of it on the leg, but I'm not sure if this will work. Okay, that's not too bad. Include a little bit of that highlight on the leg. Just include a tiny bit of it. Let me see if I can kind of just add a bit more over. Nope. It's better to keep it in one area. I'm gonna add it a little bit down here too, and then on the bottom of her undie as well. So, then blur this bit. And then add a tiny bit of shadow. Hold on. Like that. There we go. Oh, wait, what happened? Did I move something? Okay, I think I did move it. That's why it wasn't in the right spot. When did I move that? Let me see. Oh, that's where. Okay. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go with this. But yeah, that changes a lot. Just having that intense highlight in there to help balance, to make the piece a bit more interesting. Alright guys, so let's see if we can add a little bit of hair texture. It might work, it might not, but we can try. So just going to see if I can kind of fit this hair on top of her head. Let me see if I can make the tone of the hair a bit cooler and up the contrast for the hair. So this is what that looks like. I'm going to slowly erase bits of it and let's see. It doesn't really look too good. I'm just gonna kind of use a little bit of it for texture's sake. I'm gonna duplicate this layer and use it on the back patch of hair. So just gonna do apply this texture that I've already edited a little bit all over the place and kind of just manipulate it to fit the different areas that kind of needs a little bit more texture. Like that, like that. Going to duplicate this again. Now, on the other side, okay, hold on. This side, we're gonna go for a whole batch of it. So, just going to manipulate this. Okay, maybe this might not work. I'm going to erase that. I guess it's not that bad, but it doesn't really do much either. I'm gonna select that whole area, copy paste, increase the highlight of this. There we go. So now it makes a little bit more sense. And then going back with a brush, a thin brush, I will kind of paint this in, blend this together, paint this and blend this together. There we go. And continue on. I'm gonna also show a bit more forehead skin. A bit more of a highlight over on this side. Just going to slowly add those hair strand details. Okay, just looking at the anime design. Going to actually darken this up a bit so that I can kind of go ahead and add some hair over the ear. And now for this side, I'm going to use a bit more of a blue tone and use it to highlight the silhouette of the hair on that side. Add a bit of warm tone there, or a skin tone in there. This is definitely throwing me off a little because I usually paint longer hair for female characters, so her face is typically what I would draw for pretty boys. So yeah, it's a little throwing me off a bit, but hey, let's keep it up and see where this will go. Continue on to shade this with the blue tone. Bring this down. Now shadow, add shadow. Okay, lock that down, and I'm gonna go ahead. Let's see if I can add a bit of highlight like that. So add a bit of shadow, a bit more shadow. A bit more shadow to isolate different patches of hair. There we go. Now it's looking a little better, I think. Okay, now zooming in a bit. Zooming in to add a bit more hair strands in some of these areas. Definitely a lot cleaner like this. Before, after. And I'm just going to refine the eyebrows a bit. And also clean up the eyes. As well as adding shadow underneath the hair. Okay. Let's just softly change that. And add a bit of overlapping with the hair. Okay. Before, after. Okay, I guess that's not too bad. I'm gonna select this color, or actually a lighter color for the face. I'm just going to add that on and slowly bringing the color in. Gonna add that rosier highlight and bring it all the way up here. Might need to tone down that though, so I'm going to add a cooler tone and with a bit of shadow. a bit of highlight to the nose here. Tiny bit of highlight and highlight underneath the eyelid. Okay, so I can kind of take some of that out because it might be a bit too much. But yeah, this is what I have. I think there needs to be a bit more shadow. Maybe need to have the eyes a bit higher. Or this eye needs to be a little bigger. Oh, hold on. I wonder if I can still keep the shadow on the bottom and then have the highlight on the top of the head like this. I'm just going to select those highlights on the top, make it bright. Okay. Actually, I don't think this works too well. Maybe we can just keep it like that and have maybe a bit of it on this side of the hair. And I'm going to go ahead, select that part of the hair and add a very intense highlight there. Okay, I think this looks a little better. Let's bring the hair down. To remove that hair covering her face on that side. Maybe just having a bit of the hair curving. Okay. And also maybe having some of the hair kind of curving downward like that. Just pretty much having some hair that's not going with the flow. Yeah, I think maybe that looks a bit more natural. Alright guys, we're back. I did work on the face a little off camera, mostly just the face. and a little bit on the body, just kind of added some highlight over here that we will be refining afterwards. But yes, this is the face so far. There's still a bit of work to be done. It is still a little rough, but I think this is definitely more of a it looks like it looks more like her. That's right. Okay. But there's still a bit of work to be done, I think. So I'm gonna get started with that. First, I want to move the hair a bit over like that. And then I have to go back to fill back in that area that I took out. I'm just going to kind of paint in a bit more of her face. Merge down. I'm not super into the direction of the hair on this side. It's going to blend the rest of the face out. Zoom in here so I can work on the hair. I'm going to select underneath the hair so I can blend it in a bit better, and it's just going to extend the eyes a bit more. Let's see, I'm just kind of wanting it to look a bit more like the anime. So I'm just looking at the reference. Let's do one small strand of hair here, and then have the rest be the skin tone. So just going back in with the lasso tool and painting back the skin tone. Then painting back the eyes while I do that. There we go. And then painting back the eyebrows too. We're just keeping it refined, or refining it. There we go, just kind of cleaning areas off. And I'm trying to stick as close as I can to the haircut in the anime. Oh my gosh, it is a little different here. I kind of completely removed the texture that I applied earlier. There should be one over here. And then the rest is just the hair strands. There we go. Just gonna try to keep it, well, at least making it a bit cleaner. I'm still using the airbrush for this, so you can kind of see the soft look for the hair. And now for that side. kind of keep the same flow of the hair using the lasso tool to help me select some shadow, bring it up, and then going back down with the highlight. Okay, just gonna make a little silhouette for the hair sticking out, because our hair seems more straight than curvy, so I had it a bit more curvy. And then it goes down like this. Yeah, her hairstyle's definitely throwing me off. This is so... okay. And I'm cleaning up the silhouette on the side too. I'm gonna try to aim for more of like a straight hair strand look instead of curvy, because maybe it looks a bit more like her, because her hairstyle is quite, well, at least for how her hair curves, it's quite straight and not that curvy, which I had before. Okay, so something like that. I wonder if I could kind of change the look of her face, maybe bring, actually no, or like that. I'm just going to contour with a darker color. So her face isn't too round. Like I had it before, her face was a bit round. Let me see if I can delete that part. Oh snap, hold on. There we go, erase underneath. Add a bit more volume, or kind of changing the volume. Changing the shape of the face a bit so it's not completely, what's it called? Super round. I might end up changing the face a bit more later on, but it's all about kind of looking back and forth. Okay, see, now this, I think maybe, so before it was a little wider, now it looks a little more refined. Let's take this bright color, bright white color, and I will be painting on the bottom side some of these hair strands. Let me see. Okay, maybe a little bit, cinch it in a bit more. I don't know what it is, actually. Maybe it's the eye, bring it down a bit. I think before, after. Or actually remove this part, or actually, hold on. Remove this part. Okay. Add a bit of shadow underneath that chin. Going to go here. Add a bit more orange highlight on the bottom. Same with underneath the lips. And just kind of softly blend it in. Extend this over a bit. Okay, I think this is better. Now flip it. Actually, before it was better. Maybe, I don't know. I'm very indecisive right now. See. Okay, you know what? I think what I'll do is still have the rim light. Add that in. There. Okay, we'll call it there for now and work on the rest of her, which needs a lot of work. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna merge down the highlight onto her, as well as this layer that I did, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a bit of refining on those areas. So starting off with the arm, just gonna add some shadow there. Unlock the layer. And just do a bit of highlight on top there. And then as we go down, I'm going to once again use the highlight on the bottom, shadow on the top of these folds. I'm gonna select a slightly darker color to give more contrast. So I'm just gonna go over these folds quickly, and some of them I will paint over them so they're not super visible. But yes, keeping the same sort of theme going with the highlight on the bottom, shadow on top. So we will be doing this throughout the piece. Gonna add a bit of highlight here and a little bit there, keeping the highlight on the bottom still, like so. And we're just going to keep blending it in. So this part is supposed to be in highlight. Let's kind of correct that a bit. This is still in highlight, and then shadow here. Highlight again. So this part, I'm gonna take a bit of beige tone and then add it at the very bottom edge here. Lock down the layer, and then we're gonna apply this color right here on the bottom of the shirt like that. And then afterwards, I think that this part needs a bit more contrast, so I'm gonna Control C, Control Shift V to paste, adjustment, brightness, contrast, add more contrast, and then I'm gonna go ahead, bring back some of the highlight, and here too. There we go, just having a little bit more contrast. To go ahead and keep refining and cleaning up silhouettes as well. Like that. So just kind of keep going with it. There's not much to say here except more refining, blend stuff in a bit more. Right now I am using the setting. I like to switch a bit between the soft airbrush and the hard round brush. It's whatever suits the whatever I need to get down. So when it comes to blending, that is not the skin. I like to go a little bit between 50% to 20% hardness on the brush setting, but definitely each artist, you know, might prefer something different. So the more you use that brush setting, the more you'll know what you like to paint with, pretty much. And just keep going, adding those lovely, what to call them, folds. There. Alright. Gonna go in here for a sec. And then use multiply so I can add a bit of shadow there. Hold on. I'm going to flip over now. And then I'm going to use this color right here, a grayish tone. And I'm just going to kind of add a bit of dimension to the neck, a bit of tendon to the neck. Add a bit more shadow to those parts. I'm going to add a bit of yellow and add it there. And then I'll use a bit of blue and then add it to the neck. There we go. And then go back here to paint back some of the missing highlight for the collar. There we go. And I'm just gonna darken the color a bit. Okay, this part should be okay. And then I'm gonna work on the t-shirt here. Gonna add a bit of shading. And just kind of blend in this area here. I'm gonna use a bit of lasso tool to help me here. Add some shadow on each side there. Select the yellow highlight and then apply it on the bottom. Let's lock the layer down first. I forgot to lock it in. Add some shadow. And just bring the bluish tone down. I'm gonna add a bit of shadow underneath here. Like that. Okay, now refine some of these folds here. There's another fold. Oh, hold on. Fold here. Let's make it nice and sharp here. So this is the highlight. just gonna blend that in, and then I'm gonna select this yellow tone again and highlight it down here. Actually, maybe the yellow could be a little, oh, it looks, it's a green. Let's bring the yellow down here a bit more, and then have some more shadow. Like that. There we go. And I'm just going to blend it in with a bit of warm tone here. And then blend that in. I'm going to unlock this, add a little bit of a silhouette, and then let's kind of remove a bit of that underwear silhouette, and then add a bit more thigh silhouette. And then just going to use the airbrush here. Just gonna bring that highlight. Oh, hold on. Highlight down. I'm also gonna try to add a bit of this color and then a bit of blue. And then add back the bright highlight. Okay, so that's what we have. Let me add a bit more blue on the bottom. And then add a bit more blue on this side of the leg. Then a bit of this color right here, and continue adding some highlights to that area. I think it could use a little bit of a cooler, more neutral tone here. So I'm just going to shade it with a bit more gray. There we go, but keeping the highlight over on the side. Just gonna add some more shadow over here. I'm actually gonna use a bit of this color, the yellowish highlight color. I'm gonna put it on the band here. There we go. Okay, I think it's looking a lot better. Okay. Gonna add a bit more yellow on the bottom here. Just gonna bring that shadow down. Let's go ahead and shade blend, and then add a bit more shadow around the leg. Okay. And then add some shadow underneath the shirt. Go. same for here. I'm going to unlock this so I can add a bit of silhouette to the shirt, and then to the skin tone on D. Add some shadow. There we go. Just making sure there's a bit of squish going on here. Lock that down. Select there. Then add shadow and then highlight on the bottom. And then in the highlight portion of it, I'm going to be highlighting with more of a yellowish tone. This might be a bit bright, so I'm gonna make it darker and just bring it all the way down. I'm gonna go here and then add it on the crotch area as well, and then softly blend it out. Okay, now for the underwear, I'm gonna try to add a bit more yellow tone, like that. And then for here, I'm gonna add a bit of highlight. There we go. Oh wait, that looks weird. I should not have added that highlight. Gonna add a bit of this color down here. Just giving a bit more thickness to the fabric. Okay, I think it's getting there. So yeah, this is what we have so far now. Before, after. I could use a bit more highlight on the leg actually. So what I'll do is just add a bit more. Oh, hold on. Gotta lock down the layer. Just gonna add a bit more highlight on the bottom of the leg. So before, after, before, after. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a step. Alright, I think we're pretty much done here. Well, I will be adding some more detail. Like her sugoi dekai shirt detail, and maybe some design around the band here. Actually, I feel like I need to readjust the color for the underwear. What I'll do is select the underwear. Copy paste, and then let's see, make it a bit brighter. Ooh, I like that color. It's bright. It stands out. I like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase the areas, some of these areas, to blend it in. So this is the new undie. Yes, it's better like that. And I can also auto contrast. But yeah, here we have it. Alright guys, we're pretty much nearing the end of this tutorial. So I did do some modification off camera once again. What I did was I added the Sugoi Dekai design on the shirt. I added some of a little bit of design on the waistband, and then I thought maybe I can give her like stocking, because for me, I feel stocking frames the leg really nicely. So but the stocking has not been properly done, so I will be working on that. But pretty much I'm gonna be kind of making sure it fits the leg. And when it comes to stocking, I usually like to give a little bit of compression where the skin and the fabric connect. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a compression here, or squeeze. Just taking a bit of that background color and kind of painting over it. This helps kind of make the stocking look like it is tight on the character. Now going back in with the lasso tool, select the skin connection with the this area, and I'm just going in to add a bit of shadow. After I add the shadow, I'm gonna go inverse the selection, and I'm gonna add a bit of a volume to the stocking by adding highlight on the very top. And sometimes it is the inverse, like adding shadow, but that I feel like you will probably be able to tell once you start. So I added highlight and then shadow, and now I'm going back in to line the skin. Line the skin with a dark shadow where the stocking is, like that. There we go. So now it feels like it is on the skin a little more. Going back here, select a bit of that the underwear color. Select a bit of the skin tone, and same for this part as well, this side of the leg. So I will be selecting around the feet. Reverse it, use a darker shade. Oh, actually first we gotta highlight and then we'll use a darker shade. Now use the darker shade, line that. Let's go invert and then take a darker color and just align the skin, edge of that skin. And then there we have it. Okay, just going to fill this. And then what I'll do is I'm gonna select this color right here and do a little line design. So I couldn't really kind of paint perfectly the first time, so I just kind of used the warp tool to make it fit better. even though it's still a little bit wobbly actually. You know what? I should do this instead. Press shift and do a line, and then I'm gonna rotate it a little. Control T and rotate. Press enter, Control T again to warp, and then I'm just going to warp this. It is still, I feel, some parts might be a little wobbly, but I think this way I can get a much cleaner version of this. So what I'll do is do two line design, and then I'm going to go ahead and reuse this on the other side as well. And I need to warp this a little to fit. Just going to make sure it fits the curvature. And once that's confirmed, just going to duplicate this and just gonna warp this a bit more. So there we have it. Now that I have it on both legs, I can go ahead and clean that up for both legs. There we go. So there we have it. It is still a little flat. That down. So I'm gonna go ahead, select this color, make it a little lighter, and add a bit of highlight to the areas where the stocking is a little lighter. So just kind of following through on that highlight on the areas that are supposed to be brighter, where the highlights are. And I can also go ahead and add a bit of shadow to the area that's supposed to be a little darker based on the shading I have already. So that way it looks a little bit less flat, and then I can turn down the opacity too. So that way you can kind of see if you like the blend or not. And last but not least, we're going for that texture. This is the best texture I could find. So hopefully it will fit. And what I'm gonna do is just use this texture to give the stocking extra bit of detail. Hopefully it fits. So what I'm doing now is trying to warp this texture to the leg the best that I can. I'm going to constrain it down to the stocking layer. However, there's still areas where I have to manually go in and erase. There we go. So this is the texture that we have applied on the stocking. Now, as you can see, it is not perfect because it's lacking some shadow, so I'm just selecting the middle area. Oh, hold on, I might have to do this manually. So what I'll do is there's a lot of shadow here, so I'm going to have to make this part darker. So just selecting the middle, Control C, Control Shift V to paste, adjustment, darken, constrain it down, and just going to see if I can just kind of erase slightly and maybe lower the opacity so I can get somewhat of a darker shadow here. Actually, I think this part also needs to be a little darker. I'm gonna go in hue saturation this time and just lightness, turn it down. And same thing, we're just going to erase that. Okay, So now over here it's missing a little bit of texture. So what I can do is take a bit of texture from this side, move it over here, and then just warp it a little to fit the curve a bit better, and erase. And of course, because this side the lighting should be not as bright, so just gonna go into the darkness and turn that down. And I might even see if I can tweak it a bit. Can do it like this. Hold on. What's this? Oh, okay. So I'm gonna merge down now. So this is what I have. Going to adjustment color, contrast, and make it a bit more bluish, leaning more blue. I can turn down the opacity a bit. I can also bring this up and put it on multiply, tone it down so that this line is over the texture. So there we have the texture. I'm just going to erase the top of the texture there. And here we have it. And sometimes you don't really have to redo. You just reuse the texture that you've already made for the other side, and just have to bring that up with the warp function. Go opacity, lower it so that we can see properly where to erase or where to delete the extra pixels. So delete, and here we have it. I'm just going to lower the opacity of that. Actually, make it a little darker. There we go. And as for the lines here, I'm just gonna do a bit more refining and erasing a bit more of the parts that are sticking out. There we go. And if you really want to be a bit more detailed, you can go in and sort of erase some of these areas where the lines meet, so that the texture feels more, feels like it's not too overlaid on top. But that is if you have time. Like, you can just add some lines. I mean, erase. Use the erase tool to create a bit of a lining where the lines meet up on the texture part. I feel like that will probably blend the detailing on the stocking a bit better, so that it doesn't just feel like it's just two lines overlaid on top of this. Actually, let me see if I can do blend, or you could do this actually. Hold on. I don't think this works that well though. Okay, I guess we can do it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and trim down the length, the thickness on the side. Okay, I'm gonna merge it. Ooh, okay, 1 second. merge down the texture and merge down the blue lines. Then you can go back and add a bit of texturing. Okay, and then let's see. Then I guess what I'll do is select the bottom part and make it brighter and just kind of erase bits of it so it blends together. Merge down, and there we have the stocking, a bit more textured. Alright, now I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do a bit of refining overall, and then that'll be the end of this tutorial. So this phase is we're just going to pretty much go in and just adding some additional detail, whether that's adding a bit of volume to the fabric, such as lining around the edge of garments. So highlight and then shadow, highlight and shadow, create somewhat of a texture for, thickness for the fabric, and just kind of having that additional detail usually helps sell the clothing a bit better. You can't really tell this sort of detail unless you zoom in. However, zoomed out, it just adds a tiny bit of extra detail, which you can choose not to. Really depends, but you can definitely just kind of add some additional detail. Just going in to clean stuff up as well. Could probably do a seam right here. And just adding a bit of highlight over there. And back to the sweater or the shirt. And it's gonna be the same thing pretty much. I'm just gonna use the lasso tool. Darker shadow, just adding some shadow and highlight at the same time. Oh yes, I forgot to always include the highlight on the bottom. And I'm going to select this. Add a nice, refine it and clean it up. I'm gonna add a bit of shadow on the bottom there. Select underneath. I'm gonna select that shade and put it on the bottom. Let's see here too. I'm just going to clean this up too. Select the color and clean that up. Just gonna add some shadow underneath it. Gonna select this color right here. Put it underneath. Select this color. give a bit of poof at the shadow, highlight underneath, shadow on top, and blend this throughout. Another poof. And another one. Adding some variety in the silhouette of the clothing pretty much. Here is okay. So now to zoom out to have a look. Zoom in, zoom back in, so we can continue the blending. So just gonna keep blending, keeping the highlight on the bottom, shadow on top, keeping that going. I'm gonna select this part so I can blend it in a bit better. And just gonna keep making, blending the colors in, using the airbrush for this process, of course. It gives the best results. Bring it up. Just bring this up a bit. And this up a bit too. Blend. Probably need to blend this too. It's going to kind of try to get those lines removed. And I'm going to select, well, I didn't do it properly. Select that. The highlight on the bottom, and then underneath I'm gonna add the shadow and then a little bit of highlight, adding some shadow there, and maybe a bit more shadow underneath with a highlight. I'm going to attempt to connect these two. Actually, no, it doesn't work. I'm looking at the small preview and it does not work, so I'm gonna give up on that idea. I'm gonna select bring it down. There. And pretty much blend the shadow over, making sure that everything's nice. Lock that for a sec. I'm gonna select this color, the lighter color, and just kind of bring it up a bit. Going back to the skin tone now. Just kind of blend in the skin a bit smoother, add the highlight. Same with this. Just going to go ahead and blend this a bit better. Could probably do the same for here too. Just gonna add a bit of white to it. There we go. And probably here too. I'm just going to go ahead and select the outer copy, Control Shift V, and just up the contrast, light, and this is a bit of a rim light on the other side. It adds a little bit of extra detail, and then you can kind of go ahead and paint in some of that lighting myself. Also add it in here. You can also add a bit of rim light around her shirt, her sleeve. Merge down. I'm gonna select this part and bring it forward a bit to give her arms a bit of thickness. It was looking a little thin, and I can still kind of edit this slightly, and then erase bits of this. And there we have it. That's the result. What do you guys think? Anyways, this was kind of fun. So this is the changes we've made. You can remove this, I guess. So this is before, after. Actually, I might have to make this slightly darker. Lock that down. I need to reshade some of these. Add a bit of highlight to some areas. Actually, I can probably do this. I'm gonna cut and make it into a multiply layer. Constrain it down. And I'm just going to warp this a bit to fit the undie better. I'm gonna lock that down and make it a blue color. A lighter blue color. There we go. I'm going to reduce the opacity a bit. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys took something away from this. I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have a great day, and if you guys have any suggestions, let me know and I'll try to include it next time. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day, guys.